The students of Western Illinois University can find comfort in knowing that there is a free emergency medical service on call to help students with any major or minor medical problems. The first responders and EMTs that make up Western EMS or WEMS are all volunteers and give 12 hours each time they have a shift. But what motivates these individuals when they are practically making nothing?
Well, I think once you join the organization, it's kind of just like an unanswered question, concern that many of the new members have, well, do I bring my personal life to work? But once you get in it and you get moving, you learn that it is a professional organization and it's completely different from many of the student organizations on campus, as in we deal with very important things and we deal with people's lives every day.
I just love EMS in general. I love helping people. I love the excitement. It's just a lot of fun. And what motivates me to put so much time in is I constantly want it to make it better. And that takes time. And I know that, so I just have to come out and do what it takes to make it better.
My candidate experience at Western's been pretty good so far. My first experience was a Saturday night, so we had about 4 calls that night. It was pretty interesting. I got to see some pretty decent calls. It was different than back home, just being in a different setting, and I didn't know the area as much, so I was definitely had to follow the seniors more because they know the area, so I felt like a little out of it. But once we got on scene, I knew everything to do since I was on training. We're not allowed to do anything. We're only allowed to oversee, but it's definitely a good experience, and I've definitely learned a little bit from being here already.
Students also think that Western EMS is vital to their safety. Along with the conjunction of McDonough County Hospital, they had great things to say about both.
Just having WEMS on campus, it's like I said, it's a very valuable resource. Students get great experiences, working in the medical field, and they're first responders as they go on to emergency situations, and WEMS is always there. They're there for 12 hours at a night, and they just sit around really and just wait for calls, and they're really an underrated service group at the university.
EMS is a very valuable thing that they have on campus here for us. I mean, they show up to a location, and I know that you're not okay. It's good to have the EMS come out and assess the situation and decide if you need maybe even medical attention, especially medical attention for your current state. So I think having the EMS on campus is definitely a valuable thing. Start at 7 p.m. and they stay there and they're on call until 7 a.m. That's a large time commitment. And not only do you have to give them credit for the large time commitment, but you also have to give them credit for the amount of responsibility that they have. I mean, it's not like we're dealing with a computer, or you're serving someone a pizza or something like that. Someone's life could be on the line, and that's when that person that's working for EMS really needs to step up and get the job done.
Western EMS was not always as efficient as it is today. Captain Jake Gringland explains what he was able to do and accomplish in his term as captain.
I think the biggest goal was to get the PPM rewritten to suit our current needs, because it hadn't been updated in a few years and it needed the update. That was probably the biggest thing, and we got that done. It took a little longer than I wanted, but it got done. Get some more equipment, some more funding for equipment through state grants and things like that, because our funding's limited through the school. An AED for sure.
You don't have one?
We have one. I want to. Some new training equipment, new bags for training, maybe some new radios. The pipe dream would be a new vehicle, but that's probably never going to happen, but that would be the ultimate.
Really?
Jake has made many major improvements, and as the future approaches, Acting Captain Nate Cohen explains what he hopes to accomplish in his term.
I don't know how candidates feel, but when going through the bags here, you're checking them in once, but I mean, if you're using the same bag in candidate class, you're going to know where the supplies are. You're going to be able that much faster when you get into the organization. So that was a big thing I kind of came up with, why don't we have the same bags? It'll help us out in the long run. The other thing is, I know Jake mentioned or has talked with several people about getting a second vehicle. I've been talking to a couple different agencies trying to get some numbers, see if they will help us out, work with us. We are strictly all volunteer. So I know people like that, with all volunteer, So talked to a couple agencies, see what they can do for us. I mean, so far it's not really working out.
For Live at 4, I'm Dave Mitchell.